Hello there, you're back with Marks here. We're looking at January 1941 here in Unconditional Surrender. Just doing a quick overview of the situation as it stands here in this month. Just wanted to have a look at this. This was one of the worst months for weather. And I mean, looking at this, we're looking at the last month's weather, but I don't think it's going to be much different next month. We'll have to see, I guess. And the Russian winter event has been activated, and that's having a serious deleterious effects on the German advance. And we'll go over that when we have a look at it. But pretty interesting series of events in the last couple months, especially in the last month. But anyway, let's head over and we'll show you some of the things that have changed since the last update. Alright, so after several months of conflict in Norway and Denmark, the Axis finally forced Norway and Denmark into capitulation. The Swedes tried to push in on their own, and over several months they made little to no advances, so it took a German unit to come in and help them out. There's also a German Luftwaffe wing in Aalborg that assisted in the attacks. So, especially in Oslo. I think what happened in Copenhagen was just a German advance over the straits and into the capital. The Swedish tried many times to attack across the strait, but to no avail. That's rather difficult. And with the terrible weather that's been plaguing the Axis assaults, there was little to no advances for the Swedish army. So that's what it looks like over in Norway here. Scandinavia and Denmark also fell. Alright, let's head down to the Mediterranean. Alright, here we have a look at Spain that activated as a Western-controlled country through some diplomacy. Oops, man, that's irritating. Okay. Yeah, so with some political manipulations, the Spanish joined the side of the Western Allies, and other than that, the Westerns are still sitting on their hands, and not much action for the Westerns. Alright, so after the last video came out, I think it was August 1940, for the action report, I had been moving back the Italians at that point, but after the designer saw my video, he corrected me that you can in fact supply your units through a friendly country. You just cannot be inside the friendly country's borders. So I think I had confused the rules, or I had assumed that if you can't have units in friendly country, then you cannot have supply through that country. So I think that was just confusion on my part. But anyway, thanks to that, the Italians are once again marching towards the Russian border. Now, it's kind of funny because they were up here and then they went back down here and then they went back up this way, or at least they're in the process of it. This here is just the Italian fleet that rebased into Salonika in Greece. And you can't see this off camera, but the Italian garrison here, I'll show you, rebased down to Athens and is garrisoning the city there. But let's have a look at Bessarabia. We had some action for the Soviets here in December, so let's have a look. Alright, so down here in southwestern Russia, the Soviets managed to retake the city of Odessa from the Yugoslavians who were holding it on behalf of the Axis powers. I mean, the Soviets are making great use of their Russian winter event and didn't hold back, and actually made some advances into Axis-held territory. The first counterattack really since the start of the invasion of the USSR. But Russian winter event still has another month to go. I mean, we still have to get through January and February, so that's 2 more months of potentially dangerous situation for the Axis here. I don't know where this guy is. I'm going to assume he's there. Just tidying up a little bit. But, I think as far as the Axis is concerned, I think we're going to see some withdrawals just to make sure we don't have any more eliminated units. I mean, down there in Bessarabia, the Yugoslavian army did have one of their main armies eliminated, and as well as for the Germans, we'll get to that, but they had suffered some losses as well. But if as far as what the Yugoslavians, I should say, had occupied was behind this river. I think is the Dnieper, or no, the Dniester. They had basically held this river on this side, but they did have some units on the eastern side of the river, and as well as occupying the city. So it wasn't exactly a strong point for the Axis. Clearly, but again, taking advantage of the severe winter conditions, the Soviets made healthy advances west. Alright, so here at the German-held line here in the northern section of the front line here, the Soviets made not as much as an advance. The German line more or less held. They did do some withdrawals just to kind of protect their line. Poor old Lithuania stuck in the middle here. Now, the Russian army did advance some troops up in and around and are, I guess, probably preparing for the eventual entry of Lithuania into the war, because that's a serious gap in the German line. But as it stands now, Lithuania sitting where it is about the best situation for the Germans as far as protecting their flank. The Lithuanians are like, please leave us alone, we don't want to be involved, because either or, if they go to either faction, even though it's most obviously pro-Axis right now, but either faction, there'll just be a flood of troops into Lithuania, so not a good situation for their country personally, but as far as the overall war is concerned and how the Axis feels, I think the Axis is happy with the way that situation is sitting right now. We also had a German Panzer army sitting with a convoy here in Königsberg. Now, I haven't used my surprise attack marker yet. Now, maybe I have a plan to, I was considering doing an invasion of Finland, or perhaps even into Estonia or Latvia, and starting another front there. Can't see it on the camera, but there's the port of how do you say that? Tallinn, and also Leningrad. But I think Leningrad's too far. Yeah. Anyway, you've got Tallinn here and Helsinki, which are in the sea zone here. So vulnerable to a amphibious invasion currently, but thinking about it, without any preparation, that Panzer unit wouldn't have a lot behind it to support it. So maybe not the wisest decision currently, but you never know. If for a surprise, it might be effective. We'll see how the rest of the winter plays out. As far as the winter is concerned, I don't think the Germans are going to be doing much more attacks. I mean, I tried a couple things here and there to no avail. With that severe weather affecting, in effect, dividing my combat result by 2 is pretty severe. And the Russian winter causes the Russians to experience only poor weather effects. So a huge advantage. Thankfully, that bloody event only lasts till March, and then it doesn't come back into the game. So hopefully this next summer we can experience some better advances for the Axis into Soviet Russia. Keep in mind, though, that in August, the policy evaluation is going to start coming into effect, where we basically have a 50-50 chance of the Western allies coming into the game and declaring war on the Axis. So, I've got until August to, do as best I can in Russia and make as much advantage as I can. I mean, this game is difficult. It's a lot of little puzzles to solve, so it's fabulous. Oh, I also need to mention that we did actually lose a German panzer army up here I think it was located here, and the Russian army advanced through. Huge loss for the Germans. I mean, that's not good. But we do have a couple of other units that are set to mobilize next month. Another infantry army and a Africa Mobile Infantry Army. So that's going to be interesting. Anyway, I don't know where else we can look at. That's basically where all the action has been in those areas I've already gone through. So thanks again for watching. We'll keep you guys updated as to what the next series of events is going to manifest themselves here in Europe in Unconditional Surrender. All right, thanks a lot for watching, everybody. This is Marks, and bye-bye.